Welcome into Autzen Stadium for this Week 6 matchup of the CFSL between the USC Trojans and the Oregon Ducks. I'm David Roy, and in the booth with me is the commissioner of the CFSL, Mike Peters. And Mike, both teams coming with the same record, 3-2 overall, but 2-1 in conference, and that makes this game very important.
Well, it's super important. They're 2-1. They're tied for first, along with Texas and Nebraska. Of all teams, they're in a four-way tie. The winner of this one takes one step closer to that division title, while the loser may not be able to get it. So it's a very, very important game.
Mason Winters on the return, and Winters, as you see featured there, had a really big game in his last meeting with Oregon. 5 catches, 162 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. Kingston Fox will start with an empty backfield from his own 25, and that is where Fox will go with a quick check down. The tight end Sawyer Stern out across to the 32, and it's a gain of 7.
They utilize all of their 4 primary receivers very evenly. Cope, Winter, Seal, Stern, all between 20 and 26 catches. We're going to see them all featured tonight.
Fox over the middle, a laser, and Tim Cope fighting his way down to the Oregon 48.
Well, Cope didn't quite have the game that he wanted a week ago. The line in the sports book was for him to go over 200, and he didn't come anywhere close to that. He wants to come out, have a better game tonight, and they're trying to get him involved here early in this one.
Fox so far been on point, starting the drive 2 for 2 as the Trojans, for the first time tonight, crossing midfield as Fox looking to throw again. Another quick strike. That pass caught by Cope. This time for 5 yards.
Well, they're going back to him, back-to-back plays. Like I said, they want to get him more involved. And so they go to him 2 times in a row here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to him for a 3rd straight time.
Fox to throw over to the right sideline, and that pass dropped in for Marcus Seals. It's going to make it a very short 3rd down.
Well, Seals had a really big catch in the win last week the loss last week against Nebraska, he's a big part of this offense too, doesn't get the credit.
That pass by Fox sailed out of bounds, maybe a little late with that throw, but on 4th and 1, USC will punt.
Don't know if I like this. You're at the 39-yard line. You're not going to gain much yards by punting it here. I kind of would have liked to see him go for it.
And this punt hits at the 2 and bounces into the end zone, so that'll be a touchback. And Mike, our first look at an Oregon offense that put up a really big performance last week.
Well, that was kind of what we've been used to seeing from them. And then they sputtered out a little bit, but they got back on track last week against Ohio State, and they're going to look for more of the same today.
Quick throw by Axon Richardson to begin the drive. He'll get it to D. Frost. And Mike, the surprising stat for this week is that Jimmy Tickle has never scored a touchdown rushing or receiving against USC.
Well, it's an interesting stat. He's only played him once, though, so I suspect we might see that change tonight.
Going to feed it to him here. Tickle picking up 6 yards early on in the drive and setting up a manageable 3rd.
You know, I'm just noticing with these uniforms, they're kind of like a military look. The Ducks are more like a name tag versus very prominent on the front of them.
Speed option, and it gets blown up. Benjamin K, otherwise known as a K9 of the USC defense.
Well, he comes through like a K9 going after a drug smuggler, and he takes him down, and he's waiting for his master to arrest him. And it's going to be a 4th and 4, so a quick 3 and out there for the Oregon offense, and the USC defense, despite their offense sputtering, the USC defense looking good.
This punt fielded from inside the 40. Mason Winters gets across midfield, and Mike, both drives for these teams early on ending in a punt, but it's got that heavyweight fight atmosphere.
Well, we've seen that a little bit in previous seasons, that later on in the season, games become more defensive and teams really start to crack down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see both teams score under 30.
Got a run for Kane Robinson. It's his first carry of the night, and he's going to pick up a 1st down with it.
Robinson's a guy they need to get going a little bit. He hasn't been super involved. Ran for 1,000 yards last season. He's not going to come anywhere near that at the pace he's on this season.
And up in the Player of the Year conversation last season as well, and a far cry from that this season is Sawyer Stern trying to put together an All-American campaign with a 5-yard grab there to help.
David, are you the one that put the pronunciation for gambas on the sheet?
Yes, I am.
I'm going to have to teach you how to do phonetic pronunciation because I have no idea what you were trying to say there.
Oh, still learning some aspects. As Robinson gets another first down here for USC.
Well, if I go by what David's pronunciation, it would be gambas. That's how I would have to pronounce it, which is, I know, not correct.
It's not correct. It's gambas. From the gun. Fox to throw. Stand in. Another quick throw here for Sawyer Stern. He gets 2 yards. And, Mike, a little bit of the dink and dunk offense later here in the drive.
Well, they don't have as much room to work, so it's hard to take shots to Mason Winters when you're, 20 yards or so away from the end zone. You also don't want to turn it over. I don't think you're going to get a ton of shots near the red zone, and so you don't want to turn it over. So it's better to give yourself a field goal attempt than turn it over.
Fox going to swing it out for Marcellus Burney, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage, so a long 3rd and 8.
We also have to give credit to the Oregon defense, which is also playing very tight coverage out there, not giving them much to operate with.
Fox, stand in, quick throw over the middle on the angle route. That's Kane Robinson moving the sticks here.
I like that route there. He comes off of the back. He's got a crossing route going the other way. Creates a little bit of confusion and separation, and a nice play call there for the first down.
Inside the 15, it's a triple option. Fox pitching it. Kane Robinson breaks the tackle. Touchdown USC, but a flag on the play.
Ooh, that is not going to set well with the head coach and AD of USC, as Black Paw is he's having a word right now with the ref, and he's much more docile than I think Matt Pack would be.
So the touchdown run negated, and now USC backed up all the way to their own 19 as Marcus Seals was a guilty party. And a quick throw here for Sawyer Stern, getting no gain there. That brings up 2nd down.
Well, anytime you get a touchdown called back on a 15-yard clipping call, it's gonna take a little bit to overcome that. We'll see if they can put together a couple more good plays and get back in the end zone.
And off, Robinson running left, trying to turn the corner, and he'll squeak out 6 yards there to make it 3rd and 10.
Well, it's your favorite thing, running play side to the short side of the field, and they just didn't have a lot of room to operate there.
Empty backfield here for Kingston Fox with Marcellus Burney in the slot on the right. And that pass in the middle, Marcus Seals with the catch. He'll pick up 7, but it's 4th and 4.
Well, they went to Seals and tried to let him bail them out from his clipping penalty, but he wasn't able to get in there, and now P.D. Lemieux going to have to try for 3.
This one from 27 yards away, and P.D. Lemieux does put it through to make it a 3-point game.
David, who says kickers can't be successful in this league?
Recent history.
Well, P.D. Lemieux, 8 of 11, so he's having himself a decent season.
He is. He has been one of the rare few this season who has not had many issues in the kicking game.
I wouldn't say rare few, just in case. The Oregon kicker is perfect 4 for 4. I think we just accentuate the few struggles that we've had more than maybe we need to.
And they're starting to get things worked out, too, recently, as Blake Harrell is an example of that. One of the things not getting worked out, though, is this Oregon offense early on as Jimmy Tickle loses 3 on the screen.
Yeah, I don't really love that. And here's the thing. Screens are designed to take advantage of an over-aggressive defense. And you can say that the USC defense is aggressive, and that's true, but when you don't catch them being overly aggressive, it's probably not going to work for you, and it doesn't there.
So a 2nd and 13 situation, and it's a pistol set. Tight end in motion here, and read option keeper Autzen Richardson had some room, breaks away from Peyton Miles, and then Richardson able to fight for 11 yards.
Well, nice little keeper there, and he takes it short of the first down marker. S. Lindsay says in chat he likes the images better in Twitch. What are you talking about specifically?
This is interesting. And off here, read option, and Autzen Richardson fighting his way forward. He'll pick up 14 yards with that.
Autzen Richardson kind of putting the offense on his back, so to speak, and he's got a couple of runs, gets a couple of nice runs there. We'll see if they start to utilize that more.
Play fake. Richardson floating this down the seam, and that pass caught by Wilbur King Jr. for a gain of 26, the longest play of the night by the Ducks.
Well, they go with a couple of read options, which are basically play action run plays. Now they go to the play action pass. King wide open over the middle on the post. And a nice series of plays there, 3 plays in a row, all building off of each other. And now we'll see if they carry that momentum and take them into the end zone.
Sunzi is talking about images that
emojis.
they can add and check.
Emojis.
Yes, they're called emojis. It's a quick little pass there for D. Frost, and the crossing pattern allows him to pick up 12.
You know, I've never really paid attention to the emojis that YouTube has. But they have a lot more than Twitch, I will say that.
They do indeed, and they're not bad options, I would say, as neither is going to Tickle down here.
Well, he's been a little slow to get going, you could say, but looks like he might be picking up a little bit of steam. Much like we need to see from Florida later on tonight, you got to give your running back some work to get into a rhythm.
An out-of-rhythm throw there for Action Richardson. Either he didn't like the protection or the coverage, and he throws it away for 3rd and 4.
Well, that's okay. You don't want to force anything in there. You still got plenty of options. Maybe a triple option coming up here.
Halfback screen, left side, and there it finds his man fighting his way down to the 5. That was Tickle, and it's 1st and goal.
Well, Jonathan Green broke down there and wanted to make sure he didn't give up the touchdown, which is a plus mark on the grading sheet. The negative on the grading sheet is he sat there and gave him too much room. He gave up the first. I'd like to see him come up a little bit and try to deny that first down.
Max King, the tight end in motion. It's Richardson to throw, pressure coming. Richardson trying to stay on his feet, fighting for yardage, but he will ultimately lose 2. It's 2nd and goal.
Listen, Richardson's a nice, strong, athletic quarterback. You know, and you can shake off one defensive end. Okay, I'll give you that. But you're not going to shake off 7, 8 USC Trojans as they swarm to you. Valiant effort, but the cavalry came calling for USC there.
Terrence Goldsberry, Benjamin Kay, all in on that tackle, as well as the rest of this USC defense. And now his pistol set and handoff Tickle right up the middle, and he's going to work it down to the 2.
Good job there of staying him up as Goldsberry gets in there along with Digby Krause. And they force the 3rd down. I wouldn't be surprised to go back to Tickle here, or maybe a read option.
Read option keeper, and Richardson pushes it in himself. Touchdown, Oregon.
Well, David, you wanted to see Oregon's offense get going a little bit. You said they sputtered. I think they heard you. And they put together a nice drive there. No penalty on their touchdown either, which definitely helps. And so the Ducks with the first one to get a touchdown tonight.
Yeah, that penalty, you know, Mike, how much did that end up hurting USC?
Cost them 4
Obviously
points.
from a score, but...
Yeah, it cost them 4 points. And, you know, they ended, and not only did it cost them 4 points, but it might have maybe had a psychological effect on the defense, which didn't look up to snuff a little bit, or maybe it gave Oregon a little bit of breathing room or a little bit of fire that maybe they wouldn't have had.
This Oregon defense has played fairly well, and especially down in the red zone on that previous drive, thanks to the help of the penalty by Seals to make it a long situation, and then the Ducks just kept the Trojans out of the end zone as Fox off a play fake, and that pass dropped in for Tim Cope, and it's a gain of 13.
I'm going to tell you something. If USC winds up losing this game by 4, Marcus Seals is going to need to seal himself in isolation.
Well, that's how we end the first quarter. USC trailing by 4. You're watching the CFSL here on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. It's a major clash here in the Big Ten, and it's only the second quarter as Fox gonna run it up here with Kane Robinson, and Robinson on the carry, picking up 14 yards and out to midfield.
Well, it's nice to see Kane Robinson get going there, averaging almost 10 yards a carry. Dong Maddenly, I'm guessing that's Dong. Jacob Schneider, who is that? I don't remember if we've put that name together, but he is right. Don't forget to like the video. We'd appreciate that, guys.
Run, Kane Robinson pushing his way out to the 38-yard line in Oregon territory, and the Trojans back across midfield.
Well, if you remember a season ago, USC was really strong when they got Kane Robinson going. They're starting to get him going in this game. Could be a sign of things to change here at USC.
Robinson with the carry again, and a stiff arm is going to help him get down to the 30 on the 12-yard run.
Well, they've got a little bit of an Oregon scheme. Look going here as they're using a lot of read option, a lot of inside zones to the running back.
Well, this time the Oregon defense was ready and waiting for it as Griffin Richardson makes that play and a loss of 2 for Robinson.
You know, I realize there are probably people that haven't been here since season 3 that have no idea what I'm talking about when I reference the Oregon offense.
Not everybody.
Pimp Daddy Jacob, Pat Snyder.
Yes.
Defensive lineman.
Yes.
Trying to remember what.
Miami.
Ah, very good. Thank you for the reminder, Pimp Daddy Jacob. I don't think I can ever refer to him as anything else now.
3rd and 8. Fox, a quick throw over the middle, and Sawyer Stern going to get it down to the 15-yard line, or 16-yard line, excuse me. It's a gain of 10.
I talked about this before. They like using all 4 of these receivers in there, and even Benjamin Kay a little bit. They'll work him in there, but they will spread it out. It keeps a lot of pressure on the defense.
Read option keeper, Kingston Fox got it nice, still on his feet, and it cost him 3 yards there as he got spun backwards, courtesy of Zachary Pinesall.
Well, we saw Richardson take it to the opposite way, and it took 9. Well, it didn't take, but 9 USC guys were there. This time it took the 4th and 5th guy to take down Kingston Fox. They didn't have quite as many people in pursuit, and luckily they got 5 there because that's what it took to get him down.
The 20, speed option. Fox keeping it, and he's not going to get much, only a yard. Still a long 3rd down here for the Trojans.
Yeah, the Trojans petering out a little bit down here inside the red zone. They're going to need to come up with a big play here, otherwise P is going to get some more action.
Oregon showing blitz here as Sawyer Stern comes in motion. Fox finds Sawyer Stern wide open, and Stern powers his way down to the 3.
Stern's having himself a nice gain, 6 catches already. He had 26 coming in, so he's already above his average, and we're only here early in the 2nd quarter, and maybe Stern's trying to make a name for himself as one of the better tight ends in the league.
Vincent Fox and company looking to avoid another field goal and trying to punch it in here. They'll feed it to Robinson, and Robinson will do exactly that. Touchdown, USC.
Surprisingly, that's only Robinson's 2nd touchdown run of the season, 3rd overall. But they use him a lot on that drive, and it definitely helps to soften up that defense. Created some room for Ted Stern out there, who was effective on that drive. Nice drive overall by the Trojans as they go back out in front here on the road, and now the pressure shifts back to the Ducks.
We'll take this time to give a shout out to everybody in the YouTube live chat. Got Nani, Dat Dude, Cope, Squiddy, S. Lindsay, Ted Stern, Shane, trying to scroll up here a little bit, Pat Snyder, Frosty, Hex is in here as well. I know I saw Matt earlier, and anybody I might have missed, I do apologize. As Mike, you take a look at the 2 offense there, and Oregon and USC, they've been even. You
know what you missed, David? It was a 40-yard kick return.
I did miss that. I did indeed. Got all the way out here to the 42, and Richardson's going to pump. Taking a shot to the right side. Double coverage and a jump ball. That pass incomplete.
There are better options if you want to throw in the double coverage than throwing into double coverage on Terrence Goldsberry and Marcellus Burney, but that's exactly what Richardson did, and luckily that wasn't picked off.
Bubble screen there, and much as we've seen from Oregon quarterbacks, Jackson Richardson wants no part of it and throws it in the dirt.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he threw out his arm going deep on the play before.
Long 3rd and 10 upcoming. Richardson to throw again. This one on the right sideline, and he drops that one in for Wilbur King Jr., who gets wrestled down at the 25.
Well, it looks like he set him up earlier with taking that shot deep. This time they play a little bit more over the top on the cover 2. Actually had Burney trailing there, but a good job by King to find space, gets the 1st down, and the nice pickup.
going to put him just inside the 25 here at the 24. Trips, top your screen is Richardson going to give it to Tickle running right, and the USC defense closes quickly. Jonathan Green with the tackle.
Well, Green comes up, plays well. We've kind of knocked him a little bit on his run support, but he comes up there nicely. He had players trailing, but they weren't going to catch Tickle, and so he does his job to shut it down.
His last meeting with Oregon, he played really well in run support. As down goes Richardson, Benjamin K. unabated with the sack.
Well, apparently somebody told Benjamin K. that he was going to get a bone after this game if he got to Richardson, or maybe Richardson had a bone, and he's trying to get it as he is just savagely pursuing the Oregon quarterback.
Maybe K's got a bone to pick with Axon Richardson in this Oregon offense. Richardson trying to stand in, pressure in his face. He's going to check it down here. And Ross Woods, the walk-on, will get a couple. But ultimately, the USC defense going to force a field goal.
Yeah, not the greatest play call there. Now you're forcing a semi-long field goal attempt.
From 42 yards, and Justin Case puts it through and ties it up with 10 each.
Well, they signed their kicker here just in case they needed some extra points, and he comes through there. He's 5 for 5 on the season. Now we get a tie ball game here midway through the second quarter.
It's a Big Ten matchup. That means a great deal for both teams. They inch closer to being able to win the conference, and Mason Winters going to help Kingston Fox here with a pretty decent field position.
I'm still starting to think that the kick return for a touchdown is starting to go the way of the punt return.
Becoming more and more of a pipe dream as Marcus Seals with the catch gets 6.
And again, back to what they do best, which is spreading the ball around to multiple different receivers. And I suspect we're going to see Kane Robinson getting involved here shortly.
Fox from zone 31. Midline read for him, and Kingston Fox got stopped really quickly there. Got back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more.
Well, it's a manageable 3rd and 5. They still have a lot of options here. A read option isn't out of the realm of possibility.
Fox to throw. Quick strike. Seals with a first down and a little extra as they'll pick up 10.
Well, they ran a corner route on the outside with 2 crossing routes underneath that created some separation. They wound up going underneath the crossing route, and the corner route cleared out the side of the field, so they get plenty of room for the first down. Well-designed play against the coverage, and USC gets the first down.
Up to the 47. Fox throwing middle of the field. Another crossing pattern, this time for Winters, and he's going to advance it all the way down inside the Oregon 40.
Hey, I'm as big of a fan of the crossing route cheese as the next guy, but if I got a guy like Mason Winters, I want him on the outside running fly routes.
It's working so far for this USC offense. I'm pretty sure all their passes so far this drive have been crossing patterns. The backfield here, Seals motion into the backfield, and Fox finding Cope down the right sideline, and he'll get out to the 12.
We need more plays like that. They bring the receiver in motion like they're going to run an option. They play fake. They don't even look to him, and they go to Cope on the outside, who beats his press coverage. And Jalen Smith looking back like, I didn't know what was going on. Excellent play call there.
Spot at the right hash. It's first down and 10. Needing to get just inside the 2-yard line to have a first down. It's Seals motioned into the backfield, and Kane Robinson gets a carry. Robinson down inside the 5 with a gain of 7.
Well, you see what they did there is they bring the receiver in motion again. The defense thinking that they're going to go with the triple option and run it with the wide receiver. They don't. They hand it off up the middle. He's got plenty of space. Excellent couple of plays called there by USC.
Goal line set, 3 tight ends on the field for the Trojans. And Fox to throw. There is the walk-on, Albert Kearney, from 5 yards out.
Well, there goes the walk-on again. We got Ross Woods catching a pass but not getting the first down. Now we get Kearney, the tight end 2 on this team, and he's got, well, guess what? Another crossing route, and USC converts, got the touchdown, 2nd in a row. And now the pressure's really on Oregon as they're down 7.
The last 3 drives for the Trojans have been scoring drives. And Mike, as you mentioned, their last 2 been touchdowns for them. Oregon, on the other hand, they got a touchdown their second drive. Their last drive, though, they had to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, they kind of sputtered out a little bit, and anytime you take losses early on in the drive, that can happen. So we'll see. One thing that pops to mind that I think might be playing into the lack of returns for touchdowns is the better kickers that we're having in the league. We're seeing way more touchbacks than we used to. So just by volume, we're reducing the amount of opportunities we have for kick return touchdowns. And that's probably by design with a lot of these teams wanting to add powerful kickers.
I want no part in giving up 3 points via special teams. It's Axton Richardson, 3-man rush trying to stand in, and he has to throw that one short, but it's ultimately dropped. 2nd down and 10.
So I wonder if the adverse is true. If we start having user punters, will that increase our chances of punt return TDs?
It could be possible. That is an interesting case study to be made, I would say.
The answer is no. I've tested that case, and I've wrote the book, and I've closed it, and then we've moved on because there is no punter in the league that could make punt returns a viable option.
Mike has written the book, put it on the shelf, and it has been collecting dust for a couple of seasons.
Indeed.
3rd down and 6 upcoming for Richardson as we near the 1.5-minute mark here in the second quarter. And Richardson making an adjustment to the line. It's a 4-wide set. 2-by-2 on the field. Richardson to throw. Angle route and a leaping grab by Tickle for the 1st down.
Well, Jimmy Tickle's showing off his receiving prowess. We've seen him get busy a little bit running the ball. I don't know if we've seen such an athletic catch from him before.
Richardson to throw again. A little pressure there, but he's able to deliver to Bugsy Bates, who is delivered a hard shot from Peyton Miles.
Hard is an understatement. He was trying to take his head off.
Oregon takes the timeout. Halfback screen, but Richardson will throw it away in the opposite direction. That's 3rd and 3.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just a broken play call or if he got a little too flustered back there and saw the pressure coming in and just got rid of it, but it was ugly.
Halfback screen again. Benjamin Kay able to get back there and force him to be sacked by Peyton Miles, and USC will take a timeout.
You know, I'm always one to think if you try to run a halfback screen and the defensive line gets in there too quickly and you got to throw it away, why not run another one and see if you can break that trend? And well, they do it there, and they take the sack on the halfback screen.
Winters gets out to the 45 as Winters only 1 catch tonight for 16 yards, and Kingston Fox been looking elsewhere.
Well, he's looking where the guys are open, and he's done a good job of that all season long. I suspect that Winters will get some more balls if he gets open, but right now, Oregon's taking that away.
Lots to throw, and he stands in and delivers a beautiful ball to Sawyer Stern, who fights his way down inside to the 34.
Well, right now, Oregon's over there like, didn't they get rid of Monte Jones? Why are we having to deal with another guy that's dominating us at tight end?
Stern, the tight end, in motion. Fox with a 3-man rush. Floating this one, and wide open was Tim Cope on the sideline, out of bounds at the 11.
Well, you know, that's everybody's favorite route, the corner route. That one, the C or half moon variety. And Cope does a good job there on the sideline, keeping his feet in. And USC looking to go up 2 scores here before the end of the first half.
Inside a minute to play. USC 1 timeout remaining in the half. Is Fox in the gun. Hand off, Kane Robinson. He's got blocking, spins out of 1 tackle. Touchdown, USC.
Well, I kind of feel like this is looking a lot more like last season when Kane Robinson, if I remember correctly, had a 3 or 4 touchdown game and really kind of set him on his way into the Offensive Player of the Year. Now, he's a little bit further behind that pace this year, but he is starting to come on running the ball. And as you can see, USC up by 2 scores. That is obviously very important to their success, and that also is going to speak a lot to the rest of the Big Ten if they get their running game going.
Trojans up 14 over the Oregon Ducks. 40 seconds to play, and this return not a great one by Bugsy Bates, only out to the 20.
Well, I don't really know what to say on kick returns anymore. It's crazy, really. I don't get it.
Jackson Richardson from the gun trying to put up points before the end of the half, and he's going to start with a halfback screen. And, Mike, I don't think that's the play call you want to draw up here.
No, Oregon's they're starting to go in a little bit of a shell, and I'm not quite sure why. They haven't turned the ball over, but they're trying to get first downs. I don't know that USC has been that aggressive on first downs that you want to keep running these halfback screens, but that's what they're trying, and they're just not working.
Oregon's got 2 timeouts, but they're not going to use either one of them and let clock run here.
Yeah, why not go into the halftime down by 2 touchdowns on your home turf? I'm sure all the crazies out here in Autzen are very appreciative of that. The virtual crazies, that is.
Oh, I'm sure the crazies are in chat are probably not a fan of that. Oh, I see. You didn't want to refer to them.
Well, no, the virtual crazies. Remember, we're not allowed to have gatherings of more than 5 or 10 or 50, or depending on where you are. So our virtual fans are always in the stadium.
That's very true. Right now, USC up by 2 scores, and at the end of the half, Mike, as we go into the studio, that first half kind of became USC's late.
It did. Oregon's offense looked pretty good early on, and then it looked like USC found the answer for them and got them very conservative and very basic. And on the other side of the ball, USC's offense really started to click. They got the run game more involved, and it really started to open up everything else. And right now, Oregon looking at a 2-score deficit, struggling offensively and defensively, and they're really going to have to do some soul-searching here at the half, or these military-inspired uniforms are not going to be welcome back on the field, I would suspect.
Well, Mike, you look at the numbers, and very clearly they would suggest that USC has been in control. Almost 300 yards of offense, 2 minutes advantage in time of possession. The Oregon offense barely over in 100 yards of total offense.
Well, yeah, I mean, outside of having turnovers, they've dominated about as much as you could. The first quarter was really close, so it's hard. It's hard to say that USC really dominated the whole half, but they really dominated the second quarter, and that's ultimately what we're seeing here on the scoreboard.
Oregon will have an opportunity to try to come to that 4-point deficit. A huge shot being dished out by Peyton Miles.
Well, that doesn't help kick returns when you got ferocious hitters and supreme talents out there playing kick coverage, and he just I don't know. He tried to take off ahead earlier, and there it looked like he just tried to bury him in the turf.
Jackson Richardson in the gun here from inside his own 20. Ball spot at the 19. Handoff, Jimmy Tickle. He had an alley to run through, and he got 4 yards out of it, but he thought, probably in his mind, Mike, that he had a lot more than that.
I thought he did too, and the walk-on Tim McCarty grabs him and wrestles him down, which is a little surprising that he caught him from behind.
We're going to go back to Tickle this time on the counter run, trying to get him outside. He cuts back inside. Got tripped up this time after picking up 11. And again, Mike, he could have had a lot more.
He had a lot of room, and Aaron Carter, the other walk-on defensive end, was there to trip him up.
Trips bunch to the right. Counter run to the right side. Tickle with room. Got turned around by Miles, and a flag thrown.
Oh, it's on the defense. So they get extra on that one. Digby Krause is the guilty party there. So they've gone to Tickle 3 times in a row, and they've all been really good runs. Now you got to look if maybe it sets up either the read option or the play action.
All the way out to the 40, courtesy of the penalty, as another counter run, and Jimmy Tickle showing the elusiveness to pick up 7.
Well, I didn't like that because they went back to the counter again and it almost got blown up, but Tickle does a good job of running hard and breaking some tackles for a nice gain.
Slipped away, and here he shows some power to fight his way down, making it 3rd and 1 after a gain of 3.
Look, I know you're down 14 here, but you have set up the run as a great time right now for some kind of play-action shot type play. Although the defense not really set up for it.
The read option here, Richardson going outside, got away from Peyton Miles, and then had to stretch and lunge for the first down.
Yeah, he made that way more interesting than it needed to be. He could have had that easily. Now's a good chime for maybe a play action.
the 29-yard line, and from the left hash, Richardson to throw. Gonna take off and run. As a lane up the middle, he lowers the shoulder, picking up 8.
Well, that's just youthful exuberance. He had a receiver at the top of the screen that beat the press and could have had a 10 or 15-yard gain, if not more. But he just bails on his look and takes off running.
Triple option. Richardson going way to the sideline there, and he's run out of bounds at the 14 by Marcellus Burney.
Well, he had the look he wanted to. It was a 2-on-1, but he takes it too far out. He's got to cut inside and make Burney commit to the pitch man or himself, and he doesn't, and he carries it outside, didn't leave him any room to pitch it, and gave up what could have been maybe a touchdown.
And another run here for Richardson. This time it'll be a sack for a loss of 2, but not really an actual pass thrown this entire drive yet.
Well, this is not a drive that you're going to go back and teach to the middle school kids on how to be successful at later levels, but it's been fairly effective, at least before that sack.
Backed up to the 16 is Richardson under center. For the first time tonight, it's a 3-step drop, quick throw to the right sideline, and fighting his way forward was Max King picking up 9.
Well, it's funny, Max King was definitely the more heralded tight end coming into this game. 39 catches, Sawyer Stern's 26. But first catch here in the third quarter.
So set, speed option. Richardson pitches it, tickle, doesn't get there. Marcellus Burney set the edge.
Well, yeah, not much you could do there. I think they read that correctly, but Burney just does a good job of shutting the block and coming up and making a tackle and forcing the fourth down.
23-yard field goal from the left hash, and Justin Case delivers to cut this one down. Now it's an 11-point game.
Well, you're cutting into the lead. You really need to start converting some touchdowns here, as I don't think you're going to come back from down 14 with all field goals. But at least you got some points on the board and you got a little bit of the momentum back.
Winners nearly broke away. In my heart, it broke.
I was trying to see who it was that made that tackle too, and I didn't catch their number. And I was just, if it was another star-level player, I was like, okay, we got to ban them from special teams.
All spotted at the 34-yard line. Right hash, Fox to throw. Dancing to his right, throwing back to the middle of the field. That's Winters, and he'll get it out to the 47.
Well, Winters only his second catch here in the third quarter, but they haven't really needed him. They've done a good job with Stern and with Robinson running the ball, but I wouldn't be surprised if they take a shot to either Winters or Cope on the outside and try for a big play here.
I was going to say he got out to about the 48-yard line. So Fox throwing left side. That pass dropped by Tim Cope.
Yeah, that's not going to find you many more looks, Cope. I know Cope left Alabama to come here to USC, wants to be a bigger part of an offense. Has been really big this season, but those drops, they're not helping him.
Fox with the 3-man rushes all day, and he's going to find the wide-open Sawyer Stern, who fights his way down to the 21.
Well, Stern kind of having a coming-out party. He's only got 92 yards and 8 catches, but he's been very, very effective tonight. And like I said, he's kind of moving his way up the list of the better, more premier tight ends in the league.
We saw it with USC last season with Monte Jones that they usually find a way to utilize their tight end, although Michael McKenzie might have the best tight end in the CFSL under his name for the time being, as Winters picks up 2.
Good bad news, David. I'm developing a dry cough. And at this point, I keep muting myself. It's either coronavirus or I got cat hair in my throat.
I don't know what to say to that.
I'm hoping it's the cat hair. As
much
as I don't want it to be cat hair, I'd prefer that over the alternative.
I think that was the wide consensus. 3rd and 6. Empty backfield yet again here for Kingston Fox as he took off and ran on 2nd down. Here he is standing in to throw. Got hit by his own offensive lineman and then finds Sawyer Stern, who came a yard shy of converting.
Well, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing them going for it here, but they're going to take the field goal attempt here to try to go back up 14. You know what I think it was? Is I was fanning the door trying to get some cool air in here because it doesn't cool off very well in my office. And I think it kicked up some cat hair that had been sitting around docile. and it made its way into my my breathing receptacle.
Breathing receptacle?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I heard it right. Okay. I don't know how to respond to that, but here's something to respond to. Sawyer Stern on special teams kept Kai Brummer from even getting to the 20.
And Allie's in here saying it's cat hair clearly because she can't believe that anybody in our household might get coronavirus, seeing as how she has to go to work every day and be subjected to the possibility of it.
Well, she's essential.
That's right, she is. Essential. Much like some better field vision from Autzen Richardson is, or maybe some better blocking by his offensive line.
Yeah, that might help as he got sacked there, loss of 4. So backed up to the 15. Not a lot of great starting field position.
No, not great field position, and they're just going backwards, which isn't helping them. And now they're going to their trusty halfback screen.
And they're going to go backwards again. This time it's a loss of 1.
Well, it hasn't worked out for them any of the times they've ran it tonight, so why not keep going to it? It's almost like some of these teams get so over maybe in their feelings a little bit, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to prove I can make this work, and they just keep going to it instead of just saying, you know what, it's not going to work tonight, let's go to something else.
3rd and 15 upcoming. Halfback screen left side this time,
As
and
I said,
Jimmy Tickle gets out to the 22. It's an 8-yard gain.
They just have decided that we're going to prove we're going to get one off tonight. We don't care if we win the game. Proving that we can run a halfback screen somewhat efficiently is much more important.
So it's the second 3-and-out forced by this USC defense. And decent return there by Mason Winters. Gets across midfield, down inside the 45.
I could hear your heart skip a beat while you're talking there. You thought for a brief second he might break it.
There was a chance.
There was.
7th drive of the night by the Trojans, and it's going to start counter run for Kane Robinson. And Robinson nearly had a big run, but he got tripped up.
Yeah, nice little play on the backside to trip him up and keep him from getting anything. That's Griffin Richardson, the linebacker, coming up with his 8th tackle. Nice play there, but they're going to need to start forcing turnovers if their offense can't do more than what they're doing.
Blitz coming, and the quick throw over the middle for Tim Cope, who's able to hold on through traffic there to get 5.
Hey, look at that. Tim Cope held on to one.
And it was a difficult one. He was not as open as he was when he dropped it.
Yeah, it's when it's wide open and he loses his concentration.
Kind of like Braylon Edwards. He drops the easy ones, but catches the really difficult ones.
Yeah, even though you're young, you're really going outside the wheelhouse there. There's Cope with a nice catch.
Down the sideline and inside the 10 is Cope. 7 catches, 118 yards here tonight.
Well, you know, he's spitting in my face and saying, look, dude, I can drop 1 or 2 passes and still put up 100 yards. And my team can still win by 3 scores.
Certainly, Kingston Fox and company are trying to make it 3 scores. The Oregon defense showing blitz would like to try to keep him out. This is a read option, and Fox with an 8-yard touchdown run.
Well, nice run there. They just go a little read option, and Fox keeps it himself. Georgia fan says, I think Shane for the donation, betting on the over of 79.5, which is not going to happen. It's not me. It's Horns. Horns likes taking all your virtual money. So, you know, if you're upset, that's the guy to go to. I told him the object of the sports book is to go 50-50, and then we make a little bit on the big, which is the 100-110 lines. He's like, no, I just want to break everybody. So, you know, hey, it is what it is.
Much like our kickoff return for a touchdown situation this season. It is what it is.
Yeah. Oregon deciding that they want to run 52 halfback screens tonight.
It's almost a return of the screen bowl. Not quite. USC's not doing it.
No. It's, again, it very much comes across as Oregon is just like, you know what? We're going to get a screen to work or we're going to die trying. And right now they're dying. A very violent death.
Seems like a while, but Oregon's out to their own 25 here thanks to the touchback, and Richardson wanted to swing that out to Tickle, but the pressure in his face forced him to throw it away.
Well, yeah, and that one he paid the price, and he's probably going to call halfback screen here because he got hit so hard there on that one. He was like, well, at least on the halfback screens I get a little bit more time.
He's not, actually. He's going to throw this downfield. A bit of a back shoulder throw for Bugsy Bates. He had to turn around to make that catch, and he'll pick up 9 with it.
Yeah, nice awareness and athleticism to get back and make that grab. And now it's a 3rd and 1. And we might see a quarterback draw, but they're blitzing to prevent it.
Well, the blitz does come, but Richardson stands in and finds Tickle to get 11 yards and convert.
Okay, I'm firmly of the belief now that USC is using Jedi mind tricks because they lined the blitzer up over the center. He completely ignored him. Like he told him, I am not the defensive lineman you want to block.
Bugsy Bates catches 7 yards with that pass and across the midfield.
Well, it's been a while since they've gotten down here. Now if they can convert, I mean, they're down 21. It's not impossible, but they got to get going.
Here's a shot into coverage, and that pass intercepted by Terrence Goldsberry.
Well, I mentioned this earlier when they threw in the double coverage with Bernie and Goldsberry. It wasn't what they really wanted to do, and here they go after Goldsberry. Double covered with Dibby Kraus down there as well, but Goldsberry comes up with his 2nd interception of the season, and now USC can take some time off the clock, maybe add some more points and put this away.
Marcus Seals in motion in the backfield. Fox to throw, stepping up, and he's going to fire a laser for Sawyer Stern, who gets it out to the 32.
Well, and that's what Axton Richardson needs to be doing. He had his check down out there, but he knew he had time. He steps up in the pocket. He keeps the angles, keeps poor angles for the rushers, keeps his good angles for his blockers, stays in the pocket, and is able to deliver it downfield versus what we've seen a lot tonight from Axton Richardson is just checking it down quickly when he feels pressure.
Empty backfield. Last play of the quarter. Fox standing in, and he will throw that one away, feeling the pressure and not liking the coverage. But through 3 quarters, USC a 21-point lead here on the road from Autzen Stadium. You're watching the CFSL on PX1 Sports on YouTube Live. Start of the 4th, Fox to throw, blitz in his face, threading that one in for Stern, but he cannot hold on through the contact.
I wonder if Stern's questioning himself. What's going on here? I've been so open tonight. Now I got 2 guys dragging me down before I can even get my hands on him.
Empty backfield, 3rd and 10. Fox to the middle. There's Seals with a 1st down out to the 44.
That's the happiest man on the field right now because his clipping call that took away that early touchdown has been completely erased, and nobody's going to think twice about it after this game.
I'm actually going to say he's got out to the 45. Here's a run for Kane Robinson, and he just runs through the defense, kind of ignoring them and picking up 2.
Well, I have a feeling that Kane Robinson's going to get 100 yards tonight. The way he's going, he's not far away from it. There's a lot of time and a lot of clock to kill.
Inside of 7.5 minutes here in the 4th is Fox to throw, and it's a short one for Marcus Seals. He's only going to pick up a few yards and make it 3rd and 4.
Every time I hear Marcus Seals, I think of the singer Seal with the Rose song. I don't remember what it's called anymore, but I don't know why I have that picture in my head. I envision him looking like that. Fox
on the read option keeper, picking up 8, and I have no
what
idea
is
what
that
you're
song?
talking about.
Every rose has a thorn. No, that's
not what that is.
That's Guns N' Roses, right?
Is it? No, I don't think that's Guns N' Roses.
Every rose has its thorn. The Kiss of a Rose, is that it? Seal? There it is, Kiss from a Rose.
Kiss from a Rose.
There we go. Thought of it. Yes. That's Allie's mom's favorite song, Kiss from a Rose? Or Seal. Oh, she likes Seal. I remember this from early on. Like early on. Like maybe the first time I ever met her mom, I remember Seal coming up and her saying that she likes Seal. That's weird.
Huh. Interesting. That throw, a jump ball, and incomplete.
Fountain is saying, look at chat. I am looking at chat, you nincompoop. Just because you're on that 1960s internet and you're 4 hours behind doesn't mean I'm not looking at chat. I did come up with it on my own, though. And then I confirmed it in chat.
The new addition to this
Oh,
Oregon defense.
Poison sing every rose has its thorn. Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
Poison. That was an 80s rock band that died an ugly death.
I heard of them.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird though. Like Guns N' Roses, Def Leppard, you know, they're all still relevant, a lot of their songs, but like Poison just kind of like faded off into the abyss.
Did. Mason Gambas, by the way, got the sack there to force a punt. And Kai Brummer getting turned around, only a 2-yard return.
Or Ga'ambas, according to some people in their phonetic pronunciation.
All right, that's fine.
Brett Michaels. Oh, yes, he was Poison, right? He was also, wasn't he also a wrestler? Shawn Michaels. Was it Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty?
That is before my time,
Rock
man.
and Roll Express? If Pac's still in here, he can correct me.
Matt would know that.
Yeah, he is the official wrestling historian. Although I believe Dong is a wrestling aficionado if he's still around. Although I think all of Oregon has disappeared except for Axton Richardson. I'll get it out one of these days.
2nd and 15. Richardson going to take off and run. Getting across the 20. And he's down across the 25. Mark him at about the 27-yard line.
As I said, Axton Richardson's the only one still here.
And everybody in the live chat.
Rock of Love. Now we're really going down some
Whoa.
different Rock of Love. Different. I guess Bret Hart was on MTV. Or unless they're saying Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. But who was the rock and roll? Was that Marty? Who was with Marty Jannetty? Where is Pat? Somebody tell Pat to get his butt back in chat. This is important conversation we're trying to have here.
Speaking of rock and roll, Terrence Goldsberry brought the rock and sent Max King rolling.
Well, speaking of TV, we have another game coming up.
We do indeed, and that one a very big one. Florida and Clemson.
Well, this was a really big one too, but you know.
Florida.
Oregon didn't get that memo.
No, I guess not. As Tickle getting close to midfield. So Florida at Clemson is the next game. That'll take place about 30 minutes at the conclusion of this one. And Mike, that's a really big one. Clemson, a must-win situation.
Boom, Frosty confirmed. It was Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Heck yeah. So Frosty's still around. Unfortunately, Defrost is just now finding out the game so well.
Yes.
5 catches for 27 yards. I don't know. I wonder what happened to Oregon in this game. Did they all have the corona?
The screen gets close. It's 3rd and 2. It is interesting because Oregon's kind of had an up and down situation, and I don't mean kind of. They have. You know, they lost handily to Notre Dame, then they beat up on Ohio State, and now this.
They've been very inconsistent.
Yes.
Well, and really, going back to last season, they were 3-5 and made the playoffs. So they've really lacked consistency the last couple of seasons.
See if they can pull it together and make the playoffs as they go for it on 4th down here, get down to the 40. Oregon's road, though, not any easier. This game, the first part of a 3-game home stint. Next week, guess who comes to town?
Michigan.
Texas Longhorns.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
Richardson.
I almost forgot about them because I haven't seen the We're Back meme in like a week.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
USC, this is a part 1 of their 3-game road tour. They have to go to South Bend next week and take on Notre Dame. Rivalry
game with the Fighting Irish, and then they end their season, much to Black Paw's chagrin, with Texas.
Yes.
Or chagrin, as some people
Chagrin, as some might say. Yes. That Week 8 matchup against Texas continues to look more and more massive for USC and Texas.
Well, you would say that, but Texas comes in with the same record, 3-2 and 2-1. Oregon came in with that record, and they decided that they didn't want to play football tonight. So, will Texas ever decide that? That's the key. And this just goes to what we've seen for 4 or 5 seasons of conference play. It's just the Big Ten. There's just something about them. They cannot find the consistency that we've seen from teams like Auburn and Clemson and Texas and even Tennessee when they were here.
Well, and Texas had some inconsistent moments, but DeFrost saying, I got your inconsistency right here. Touchdown.
Well, Axton Richardson and DeFrost are in chat, and now they're hooking up on the field. So that's good to see.
They got that chemistry going. Inside of 3 minutes, USC will take over, and 2 scores, Mike.
Still possible.
It's still possible. Oregon gets a couple stops.
This is like the Florida version of playing football. Let's play from behind all game, then try to put on some magic at the end. Tim Pope not letting that happen.
He's not, and no return there. Although, Mike, we have seen a situation before, only once.
There's plenty of time. I mean, they could force a quick 3 and out. They could force a turnover.
Right.
I mean, there's definitely an opportunity here. Oregon just hasn't shown a whole lot of interest in winning this game yet.
I'm waiting for, I think our best chance to see a kick return for a touchdown, which has only happened once before, is on one of those onside kicks. We have seen it once.
Well, the downside here of that onside kick is USC has great field position.
Inside the Oregon 40, read option keeper, Fox out to the 35. It's only a gain of 2, but it's a good start to the drive to help run out Fox.
Good open field tackle there by Puna Mortensen as he plays it well and makes the tackle, doesn't give up many yards, but they're going to really need to work quickly here or force a turnover.
And off, Kane Robinson, counter run, turns upfield, down to the 26-yard line, and Oregon takes the timeout.
Yeah, that was Jay Cooper, the walk-on. He stopped. He had an opportunity to shut that down, and he stopped. He got confused on what he was supposed to be doing.
It's Tyler, 7 tackles tonight as Robinson got pulled away from the line to gain by Kai Brummer.
When anybody sees Rex Tyler, does it go through anybody else's head that that's a combination of Rex Dixon and Steven Tyler? That's what goes through my head. I think it's a very interesting combination. And anybody that's good like with Photoshop or something, I want to see that picture in action.
The Steven Tyler part doesn't go through my head. The Rex Dixon part does.
Yeah, Rex isn't a super common name, but Rex also has tuned into a couple streams in Oregon's been playing. Apparently a Ducks fan, so that helps to it. But the Tyler, it's Steven Tyler or Liv Tyler, maybe Liv Tyler and Rex Dixon had a baby.
Well, there's Rex Tyler again, 9th tackle of the night, 3rd and goal for USC.
It's that kind of night, David.
We're in rare form tonight. And it's only the first game.
Yes, we still have one more to go.
It's Florida at Clemson from Clemson's Death Valley. As there's a contest to see which Death Valley is a real Death Valley, I guess.
Allie says that she can see it in her head, though, and she's not sure about it. Yeah, Steven Tyler and Rex Dixon is definitely more concerning than Liv Tyler and Rex Dixon creating a baby.
I would think so.
See, now she thinks I do have the corona because I'm acting strangely.
You're hallucinating?
Yeah, maybe it could be. That is one of the side effects. So in rare people, they lose their cognitive function.
So Petey Lemieux's out to basically put this game away as if that was a concern.
Well, yeah, with 24 seconds left, I would say that this for sure puts it away.
It should, and so Oregon now has to turn their attention forward and get ready for the Longhorns who are coming to town this next week. USC, in the meanwhile, their little trip here on the West Coast comes to an end. They have to go east to take on Notre Dame.
Yeah, we talked about that. More interesting is chat, where Allie is now asking if I'm seeing you in a tutu, which that goes back to CNN anchor Chris Cuomo, who said when he had coronavirus that the fevers were giving him hallucinations, and he saw his brother Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, coming to him in a tutu.
I did not hear that part.
I said it on a broadcast. I'm pretty sure you were on it with me.
I don't even remember it, so there's that aspect. I mean, Mike, you say so many different things. I mean, tonight, think about the conversations we had tonight about musicians and Rex Dixon and Liv Tyler. I mean, my God.
It wasn't so much music. It was more wrestlers. There was a little one reference of a musician.
Okay. There was a little.
Well, Flava Flav was also mentioned in chat.
There's a shot downfield from Richardson and gets down inside the 30.
Wow. Yeah, I don't. It's already left me. Whatever I was going to say. Wilbur King. He is. I do feel like I have the corona now. This is not boding well for the second game.
We're approaching CFSL After Dark territory. Richardson follows up a shot downfield with a check down, and that is how this game will end 37-20 for USC.
Well, if a form holds, Oregon will bounce back next week with a blowout win over Texas, and will completely mess up what everybody expected to happen in the Big Ten. It wasn't the best game for them. Kudos to USC, who puts together a very fine performance after a little iffy first quarter, and then comes out, dominates the last three quarters. And so USC looks good, and they're on their way as they've separated themselves in that logjam at the top of the Big Ten. Oregon got some work to do.
So that'll do it for us from Autzen Stadium. In about 30 minutes, we've got the Florida Gators going on the road to take on the Clemson Tigers. For Mike, I'm David. We'll see you back here at about 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.